Let me talk to him. Let me talk to him. Let it rain.
This isn't grinding. This is my wife making flour to make our bread. I insist that we prepare our food from scratch. And this isn't grinding. This is my old granddad sharpening a knife so that when my wife has made the bread from scratch, she can then cut it into really nice, convenient slices. And this isn't grinding either. This is just two people dancing and rubbing up against each other. Hello, I'm RetroJules. Grinding is what the Tier 9 Leopard PTA is. Oh my word. I have been playing tanks for quite a few years. I'm working my way up and I'm absolutely focusing on Tier 9 and going into Tier 10 medium tanks. And this tank is painful. There's only two packages and they are just a million miles apart. And the second package is the big gun. Now I don't know if this tank got nerfed at some stage, because in my head, when I started the tech tree, I wanted the Leopard because I thought it had an accuracy of 0.2 something. Might have been 0.28 or 0.29. And it was the only tank I'd seen with that sort of accuracy. And now when I'm playing it, I think it's about 0.34 or 0.32. I think it's 0.34, can't remember. So it's not, no accurate than most of the other tanks. So not quite sure if I missed an adjustment there at some stage. But I don't have the big gun. I am effectively a very large, mobile RU-251 Speerpanzer. The gun just doesn't do enough damage. It puts me in some very dangerous situations sometimes, and I am finding this tank not so much frustrating because, well, since this game I have equipped it with binoculars and I'm using it as a spotting machine because I just can't do enough damage in it to progress the tank as quickly as I would like. And I get completely jumped by a Walker Bulldog. And the trouble is, my gun probably isn't that much better than the Bulldog. And it certainly won't reload as quickly. So that Bulldog potentially, knows it too, could make mincemeat out of me. And this isn't going well. And I really, really need to take that Bulldog out. That was close. And barely 3 minutes into the game and I'm on a third of my health. And this tank, while it's manoeuvrable, has absolutely zero armour. And what concerns me about this tank is a little bit like the Russian T-54, sorry, the Soviet T-54, which I love. But that's got quite a good bit of armour. And I was always after the big gun on the T-54, and things kind of unravelled a bit with the T-54 when I got the big gun because it was quite inaccurate. But I just need to be able to do damage in this tank, and I'm really hoping that when I get the big gun, it's all going to come together. I am going to stick with this tank. No matter how frustrating I'm finding it, if I play it as a light tank... Oh, good shot, Artie. Very good shot. If I play this as a light tank, I can kind of get away with it. And I've just got to remember that I'm just not going to be able to do that amount of damage that I would like. But I have not known a grind... Well, actually, there was a grind that I absolutely hated. And Anthony Dale is doing really well with it. The AMX 5100, the Tier 8 French Heavy, dreadful, dreadful tank. The only tank to date that I absolutely hated and would play it to get my ×2 once a day and then dump it. And well, I did leave the Leopard alone for quite a long time because it was so frustrating. You know, to get the first package to get some speed behind the tank, and the second package to get the gun is thousands of miles away. And trouble is, I'm also grinding the Tier 8 Centurion, and that's got a pathetic little gun, and that's got like a stupid 8-second reload, and you've got this great big 8-second reload to do very little damage, exposing yourself to take the shots. And these two tanks are hard work, really, really hard work. And I just wanted to share my grind with you. I have had some dreadful games in this, some games where I've achieved absolutely nothing, some games where I've died very quickly because I've been using it as a scout tank without binoculars, and until I unlock the big gun I don't have the full view range either, don't have any real skills on this tank, it's quite a new crew, and oh, it's just hard work. But this is one of the sort of few games that actually weren't too bad. And you know, it takes more than 2 shots to take Artie out sometimes. It's just a ridiculous gun. But luckily, manoeuvrability is absolutely the saviour. And I must admit, sort of playing tanking for quite a while now, I think manoeuvrability is key on the battlefield. So that was that game, and actually kind of got through that by the skin of my teeth with that Walker Bulldog absolutely battering me at the beginning. Yeah, not great on silver, but a really nice healthy 5.5 grand XP with a couple of missions and a first one of the day. That is a good help. So we're on Kasserine, top tier, that's going to help. So we've established that this tank doesn't have a lot of armour and it's got a rubbish gun. So you would think that I would be playing very carefully to protect myself from getting hit, and that I would make every shot count, because that's the only way I'm going to progress this tank. Well, as you know, I'm kind of super analysing my gameplay at the moment, and I don't claim to spot all the mistakes I make, and sometimes mistakes just happen. But in this game, there's a couple of things I wasn't really happy with, and don't get me wrong, it's not a bad little game, and actually it's quite nice to show you a fairly successful game on Kasserine too. But I'm not making every shot count, and I'm not protecting myself as well as I could. So I'm really fortunate that I've got those 2 scouts out there scouting for me, so that means that I don't have to. And you'll have noticed that I've changed the setup now. I'm not carrying a fire extinguisher. I'm risking carrying 2 repair kits. I know the German tanks are more likely to catch on fire, but that's a chance I'm willing to take. But I still haven't got binoculars on at this stage, and that was something I did a little bit later. But my commander, Sauerkraut, is now speaking German, which I much prefer in this tank. So a Skoda T50 has been spotted, and no, well, I'm not the one that's going to go in just yet. We've got some heavies catching up behind. I just want to make sure there's no other tanks coming. A little bit more strategic. I'm not going to be the one that comes around a corner and confronts 4 enemy tanks that we didn't know were there. I'm going to wait. So, let's have a look. Right. Okay, so, make every shot count. I'm auto-aiming. I am getting, believe it or not, I am getting out the habit of auto-aiming, but sometimes I just do it still, and a little bit of side scraping, and there we go. Aim the shot, and the shot goes in. So effectively, at this stage, I could have had 2 shots on that tank. And something else I do in this game is I take my shots And normally when you reload, you'll pull back or you'll just get yourself into a safe position. Well, I'm watching the enemy tank that I've just hit, knowing that it's going to take a shot. And I just sit there and let it happen. And not really sure what's going on there, but really not a good tactic in a tank that doesn't have armour. There's, see that, the T10? I saw its turret turning towards me. You knew and I knew it was going to take the shot, and I just stood there and watched. I didn't keep moving. And here we go, this is better. Get a tracking shot in. Side scrape retro, better. Little bit of protection. And, right, take... Oh, yeah, it wasn't even a fully aimed shot, that one. That was never going to go in. So, my little scouts are being quite aggressive and going off in front, which is great. There's that T10. Right, can I get a shot over the rocks? Oh, an auto aim, and yeah, why not? Just snap a shot. I didn't really know where that tank was looking, so it was just worth poking out for a quick one. But of course, that tank does know that I'm there. Yeah, knows that I'm there. Should have really sort of relocated somewhere, because it was just waiting for me to pop up. Right, here we go. Shot on the move. And lead your shot, Retro. Lead. No, don't shoot behind the tank. Shoot in front. Allow for momentum. And you can just see where I'm sort of wasting shots in this game. And, you know, to progress this tank, every shot really does count. And, well, tier 9 RT. One shot takes half its health. Second shot, will that do it? No. 3 shots to take out RT. Ridiculous. And it only had 1 hit point left too. The VK down below is taken out. And we're winning this quite comfortably. But, you know, look at my sort of penetrating ribbons. 5 penetrating ribbons and 2 criticals. That probably should have been closer to about 9 by now. I could have almost doubled it if I hadn't auto-aimed, hadn't wasted shots, and just been that little bit more careful. Red square on the horizon. Will I get a shot on the red square? Because if nothing else happens in this game, me taking out a red square will make me incredibly happy. We're capping. Speerpanzer's not going in, but I am, and just get the finishing shot. And this is another, so I've got to be really careful here, because it's a waffle, and I just got to see, I can see it's not looking at me, so okay, auto aim, fair enough, but I know that gun's coming round, and I'm just staying there too long. I should be reversing as soon as I've taken that shot. Right, so waffle's not looking at me. Aim, 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 take the shot, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. See? If I'd have pulled back straight away, I wouldn't have taken that shot. And this is just me being super critical and just analysing my gameplay, which I'm sure you guys do as well when you're watching my gameplay. And while I don't expect it to be perfect, I'm making some quite silly mistakes in this game which are unnecessary. Getting away with them, but unnecessary all the same. So actually, Speerpanzer, see, I'm calling it a Speerpanzer because it feels like one. The Leopard PTA at this stage with this gun is hard work, but using it as a scout and in this game using it as a support tank is working okay. But I'm really looking forward to when I can show you the video of this with the big gun doing its thing. And 2,300 damage, 3 grand XP on the first win. It's all going to help. 4th overall. Well, I really hope you enjoyed the insight to me grinding the tier 9 Leopard. Keep safe, keep tanking, and I'll see you soon.
Next thing you know, shawty got low, low, low.
let me go.